Welcome, Linda. So good to have you on our podcast today.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Let's discuss your approach towards motherhood breaks the mold by injecting humor and realness into every aspect. We love how you do that. What is Fruits of Motherhood and what inspired you to start it?
So, I actually started Fruits of Motherhood because I was holding a 3-month-old in my arms, wondering if I had ruined my life. And I mean that in the most loving way possible. And I had to convince myself that people have multiple children on purpose, so it must get better. And it's kind of ironic that I now have three, but as most new moms, when they're holding a newborn in one arm, they have their phone in the other. So all I was seeing on social media was these picture perfect lives. And I was wondering why it was so much harder for me, why my life didn't look like that. And why was it so easy for everyone else? And that is how Fruits of Motherhood was born. And, I take pride in kind of showing the messy, the authentic, the real side of motherhood.
And what we've noticed also on your profile is like the family dynamics are pretty incredibly unique. How do you think that has influenced your content and your views on parenting and the book that you were just talking about?
Yeah, so my parenting situation is very unique. I have three parents under one roof, and obviously before I was in such a situation, I definitely didn't picture myself being in such a situation. I understand that some people are very confused by it. So I live with my ex-husband. We're actually technically still married. We didn't get the official documents yet. We've been separated for about like 3 years. And my girlfriend lives with us. I came out later in life, and we have three children. So I had two kids with my ex, and the third child, we used my ex as a donor with my girlfriend. So our three children are related. And when it comes to parenting, how that has changed everything is genuinely you have to understand that your parenting experience is unique to you, just like my family situation is very unique to me. And it may not be for everyone, but it is for us. And I think that's the underlying message with motherhood too, is just like it's so quick to judge or pass judgment.
That is a very interesting situation indeed, and the fact that you have learned how to balance it so well and be out there with that balance and showcase that it can work with strong values and a good healthy family system. That is a challenge in of itself, right? And
Yeah.
speaking of so many challenges that you're going through in this unique situation or moms go through in general, self-care is one of the ones that is a recurring theme as a challenge in your work. How do you balance that with the demands of motherhood, your career, the unique situation, everything we're talking about?
Yeah, self-care is like a very fun buzzword for moms because I think first you have to figure out what actually fills up your cup and then how to make time for it. Like it's a multi-step, and then who takes care of the kids while you're doing such.
I
um,
know.
but the number one thing I always go back to is that it's still worth it. Like everything seems to get a little bit more complicated after you have children. There's so much more that we have to think about, but we can't forget about ourselves because in order for our kids to be happy, like we have to be happy. It doesn't, we can't, our happiness cannot only depend on our children's happiness. Like we're still a person, we still have, joy that we want to chase and dreams that we want to follow. And it's part of rediscovering yourself as well after having kids. That is part of self-care.
And part of self-care is also having your own village to support you through it all, right? Whether it's the physical help you need, the emotional part. Your content does provide a sense of community for many parents feeling isolated in their experiences. How important has this community been to you, and what impact has that had on your followers, whether we're talking about the unique situation, building a village, having a community of a different sense, whatever it is that means to you?
So, I guess people don't really think about it in this sense, in this perspective, but when I post something online that I'm like, okay, this is truly unique to me. This is my only pain point. No one else is gonna, maybe not resonate with this. Like, I don't know. When I post something, I have no idea how it's gonna perform. And then when thousands of people are like, oh my gosh, me too, I don't think that they realize that that also makes me feel secure. It's like a two-way street.
It's a virtual village, and that's what Miss Poppins is doing as well, is realizing the gap that exists right now, and us, the modern generation of parents, going more digital and still bringing that sense of community and coaching and mentorship to parents through different frameworks. It's just so important. You can't ever miss that connection and community part, for sure. Um, what were your top two experiences that you're talking about right now, where you felt like everyone resonated with you? You felt alone at the moment, but when you put it out there, it had a following, just so folks know that it can very much happen to them as well. Is there any particular experience or two to highlight?
I will definitely say that the day that I posted about me coming out, that kind
Yeah.
of blew me away. I was so nervous because I had no idea how it was going to be perceived. The outpouring of support and understanding blew me away to the umpth degree, because not only did I see how supportive everyone is of each other in that very moment, but also how these moms are going to be with their children later in life when they come out, or, it just kind of opened this world to such a supportive new generation of moms.
And let's talk about that aspect a little bit more, right? In one of your Q&As with your non-birthing partner, there was a unique perspective shared on family dynamics. So let's talk about how this experience of coming out, outpouring of support, maybe some challenges you faced and navigated. How has that experience shaped your understanding of parenthood?
Yeah, so being on the other side of the hospital bed, the other side of the stirrups, um, it definitely came with like a whole new, just being the outsider and watching her go through some of the same things that I went through, the hormonal shifts, the emotional kind of roller coaster that you go on. And for the first time, like, I knew what she needed as the non-birthing partner, because I had been through it 2 times before. And it's just the amount of like patience that you need for one another. Like, we are not ourselves after we have kids for like quite some time. So yeah, the main thing is just to be flexible with you, yourself, your family, everyone, and just, you're gonna have to just ride the waves a little bit.
Yes, it's not just postpartum. You'll have to do that during. It's going to be throughout the parenting journey. I feel it doesn't always get to be a smooth ride, probably first 3, 4 years.
Yeah.
But especially having that new transitionary mindset as a new parent, it's helpful. Um, the last question is more about body image and body positivity. I think that's such a big topic, of course, in our children's world, but also I think parents go through that quite a bit. And one of the biggest posts that resonated of yours was on body positivity and self-care. How do you maintain a positive body image and teach our children to do the same in today's society?
Yeah, I mean, as women, we all know what we grew up with, the examples of like how you have to lose weight all the time, 24/7. I actually just saw like a post today, and the goal is to not bounce back. Like, it's not, you're a completely different person. There's no going back anymore. And that's okay. It's scary, but it's more than okay. And I just think that a lot of times people start working out for the wrong reasons. Like, they just do it to lose weight. And the biggest shift in my experience with postpartum is that, like, you it can work out, but it's going to be a celebration of what your body can do versus like what I ate today. Like, we're not punishing ourselves.
I think that adds to so much stress, whether it's to do with breastfeeding, whether it's to do with your patience and your mental health and stability with kids too, right? So accepting the new version, it's a challenge, but I think that's a great way and a great segue into this new journey of parenthood. Thank you, Linda, today for sharing your journey and wisdom with us.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure.
And it's been a pleasure for us.